Hello there. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Brayden.
My name is Will.
This world is inhabited by creatures called Pokemon, and we're going to talk about them for our podcast called Beyond the Ball, where we talk about a different Pokemon every week and read all of their entries, because they're pretty weird and interesting.
It's true.
Yeah, so buckle up for some Pokemon analysis and, the good stuff.
That good Beyond the Ball content that you're so familiar with by now.
Yeah. This is that good BTB stuff. Thanks for listening to our previous episodes and for hitting us up on social media and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to see that.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Before we get into this week's Pokemon, I was hoping we could do a quick addendum on Scizor.
Okay.
I've concocted a theory that makes Scizor a little more something I can think about without having nightmares.
Yeah.
So what I am proposing, what I would like to think of as, at least for my headcanon of
your Scizor headcanon,
yeah, is that when a Scizor starts to melt, it's just the metal coat melting off of it and turning back into Scyther.
Oh, so it'll revert.
Yeah,
because
so
it'll get so hot that the. Okay.
Yeah, so its little face mask will start melting, and there'll be a Scyther under there.
He's like, oh no, my shame.
Yes. And maybe it's just pieces of it'll start melting, and then you go to the Pokemon Center and it patches it back up or whatever. But I don't.
I'm trying to decide whether to rain on your parade here or not. Because, what happens if you pour molten metal onto a regular old Scyther?
Listen,
it's still got melting steel on it.
Well,
it's
if you jam it into
great.
a Game Boy Link cable while you're doing it, it should be fine.
Yeah, it'll be protected in that process.
Yeah. I don't.
We did have. I don't know if you saw on our Twitter account.
Yeah.
We had a fan who reached out and said that she thought it was sort of like a Wolverine type process, the creation of Scizor. You're trading it with the metal coat, and it's grafting the metal.
Yeah, there's
which is
injectors
in line with what you're saying
in the link cable, filling it up with adamantine.
It comes out of the Pokeball just screaming and slashing people, just
and naked.
Yeah. It's Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
Covered. It's like if you covered Hugh Jackman in metal on the outside and gave him an exoskeleton, it's Scizor. That's what you would get.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I don't think Pokemon typically de-evolve too much in nature or anything, but
unless you count the mega evolutions.
Yeah. Scizor seems like a pretty man-made evolution anyway, probably not a ton of them evolving into Scizor naturally.
Yeah. I do like the idea that since it seems largely man-made, it is also unstable.
Yeah.
We played God, and this is the price, We can't make as good of Pokemon. Or they're good.
We'll learn more about that price
later. They'll fall apart. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's how I'm choosing to think of it. And it's helped me sleep at night a little better, so.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah. But that was last week. This week we were talking about a new Pokemon, and that Pokemon is the one and only Yanma. Yanma, the bug flying type. Again, we've landed on
doing exclusively bug types so far.
Yeah, so far. And we are picking these randomly as we go through evolution chains. So as much as we appreciate your requests for Geodude and Abra and all them, we'll get to them eventually.
We could do requests.
I don't know. Yeah, we probably could, but Yeah, I don't know. Well,
I like the random number generation, and I also don't want to like, if people are just requesting all of the ones that they know are particularly bizarre,
yeah,
like,
once we get into some of the psychic ones, it's going to be weird.
yeah, but it's like, Geodude is whatever. Geodude's probably not that weird. I mean, I'm sure there's some weird stuff in there,
Yeah,
but
we'll
there's
find
weird
out.
stuff in all of them.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
But yeah, this week is Yanma, number 193, the clear wing Pokemon, bug and flying type. It's comes in at just under 4 feet long, I assume, because it's kind of like
it says
like
height,
a dragonfly.
Like, yeah, it's horizontal.
Yeah, and 83.8 pounds.
I mean, if it's actually 3 feet tall, then it's like 15 feet long. That's some wild proportions.
It's probably like a foot tall.
Yeah,
like
that seems about right.
From head to chin, I guess.
Yeah, it's 3'11" long. So yeah, and 83 pounds. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna start adding also the name origin selection from Pokemon database. So the name origin on this one is actually apparently Yanma is Japanese for large dragonfly, which is pretty much exactly what this thing looks like. It's a dragonfly.
Yeah, there's a lot of wild, cool, crazy Pokemon out there. This one's just a big dragonfly.
Pretty much. It's got a couple of like extraneous spikes that normal dragonflies don't have.
It's got some like horns on its head and some little spikies on its tail.
Mm-hmm.
And its eyes are
connected?
Like they're like there's coloring there like a dragonfly's eyes, but like they're smaller, like actual like pupils, kind of.
Yeah.
They
kind of seem like they fuse in the middle. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. It looks like he's kind of wearing goggles.
It does look like he's wearing goggles, which is very cute because he's walking around and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember this is one of the ones in its second generation, Gold and Silver. It's one of the ones that you could only get if you gave out your phone number to a bunch of random Pokemon trainers. I think so, and they would call you and be like, "There's Yanma swarming right now," and you'd be like, "Oh, there's a special Pokemon," and it's like, "Oh, it's a dragonfly."
Couldn't catch it.
But like.
You couldn't get it in the bug catching competition?
You maybe could. I'm not sure. I have an inkling that it was one of those ones that they would call you about, like, oh, this is a rare one.
Yanma. Yeah. It was kind of a, I don't know. I was really really jacked on Gold and Silver when they first came out. There's all these new Pokemon and they were all cool. I wasn't too thrilled with Yanma because it was kind of just a bug. It didn't evolve at the time.
Spoiler.
I mean, I've since
later it'll evolve.
Yeah, I've since come to learn that I cherish and love every single Pokemon because they're all amazing.
They're all your wonderful children.
Yes.
But yeah, some of them are, it's like, it doesn't have an evolution, and it is just a dragonfly, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be on my super elite team of killer monsters, but let's see what it's capable of. Let's give these Pokédex entries a read. So we're going to start with Gold version, which says, if it flaps its wings really fast, it can generate shock waves that will shatter windows in the area.
Okay, so right off the bat, this one's dangerous.
Yep. Kind of incidentally dangerous. But yeah, that's I would think that it would have to flap its wings really fast just to get around. Like that's what dragonfly do.
Yeah, it says if it flaps them really fast, it can't. So presumably it's not doing this all the time?
Constantly shattering every window that it flies past.
Yeah, like if Wade the bug catcher gives you a call and says there's Yanma swarming the place and there's like a tornado happening or something like.
Yeah, right. There's Yanma swarming. You should take cover and stay away from windows.
Yeah, are you in your shelter? Have you heard the Yanma are coming?
Get away from the windows. Yeah, can you imagine? You're sitting at home having a nice quiet read, and all of a sudden, like, your windows all shatter in. Yeah. Just like there was a bug in my backyard, and it shattered my windows again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start installing different hardware.
Yeah, this is like some Jumanji level stuff. Like,
A 4-foot-long dragonfly flew past my house and shattered my windows.
yeah. Ugh. So yeah, it's a big bug, but that just means it's more dangerous and scary and Dookie.
Silver version says, its large eyes can scan 360 degrees. It looks in all directions to seek out insects as its prey.
Now,
So,
it doesn't look like they can scan 360 degrees.
yeah, right. I was just going to say, it's not like they wrap all the way around the back of its head.
I mean, unless they do.
They're big.
Like,
I guess it doesn't ever really show us the back of the Yanma's head, but like...
yeah, maybe what looks like is its eyes is just, not its eyes. I don't know.
Either way...
Or maybe it can move those things all the way to the back somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I feel like this sort of analysis is difficult for the podcasting medium because you gotta see a picture to sort of get what we're saying here. It does look, its eyes sort of bulge out to the sides, so I guess if it can see like out the back of them, apparently it can. It can see all around it at all times.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
But also, that's kind of just that entry is kind of just an entry for dragonflies in general. Like, isn't that
right? I think that's probably its large eyes can scan 360 degrees. It looks in all directions to seek out insects as prey. Yeah, like that could be from an encyclopedia entry on real life human world dragonflies.
Let you read human dragonflies.
I was gonna.
That's a different
that's not what we're talking about.
Listen, I've seen some things Google image searching Yanma, so.
But yeah, no, that sounds like a regular dragonfly. I will say, let's take an opportunity to point out again that we've got a description of prey, and specifically insects
Yes.
as its prey, which raises the age-old question once again of whether there are animals in this world other than Pokemon, or is this Yanma eating other bug-type Pokemon?
I would have to assume there are other regular human world bugs.
Just regular ass bugs.
Yeah, and yeah, who knows? Are all bug Pokemon insects technically? But
I mean, yeah.
But,
I don't know. I could see it going either way. The game definitely never I don't know.
From what I've seen and read so far, I'm of the thought that there are human world animals and like insects and prey, and I would assume this entry refers to them and other Pokemon.
Sure, I don't think that based on the world we've seen so far, I don't think that a Yanma would flinch at eating a Weedle or a Caterpie.
Yeah.
They're smaller than it, probably. I think.
I think so. I mean, we'll find out.
We'll find out. And if that is the case, that there are insects out there, just regular insects, I'm curious. Also, of course, what separates Pokemon from animal. And I guess we kind of touched.
Animals aren't willing to fight for you.
Yeah, I guess. But it's was there a time when people went out there and tried to catch just a regular housefly with a Pokeball, and then they were like, that didn't really work out. That was a shitty Pokemon.
I just killed it.
Yeah. So, that question remains an important one to our analysis.
Still a little ambiguous.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Probably intentionally so.
Right, yeah. All right, Crystal says, it can see in all directions without moving its big eyes, helping it spot attackers and food right away.
So it doesn't move its big eyes to look in all directions.
It's not like a chameleon, swiveling its eyes around.
Yeah.
It's just got full wraparound goggle eyes.
Is that how dragonflies work? Or, bugs with those kinds of eyes?
Compound eyes.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually move their eyes, but I also am not convinced that a dragonfly can see in 360 degrees. I'm not 100% sure, obviously, but...
Oh, yeah?
Are you gonna find out for me?
Yeah. Unfortunately, when I search Dragonfly Eyes, it's just for a 2017 mystery documentary movie. Dragonfly Eyes see the world in ultra multicolor, 30,000 facets. I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so big eyes that can see everything.
Mm-hmm. This is a constantly hyper aware Pokemon.
Yeah, gotta find those bugs.
Emerald version says it can see 360 degrees without moving its eyes. It is a great flyer, capable of making sudden stops and turning midair to quickly chase down targeted prey.
Just a great flyer.
It's a really great flyer. What a great flyer.
This bug and flying type is definitely actually flying, unlike Scyther.
Right, yeah.
But it's not a great flyer.
Yeah, Scyther was a lie. Scyther lied to us. This one is a great flyer.
Yeah, but also one other kind of just a dragonfly entry.
Right. Capable of making sudden stops and turning in midair to quickly chase down targeted prey. This is a dragonfly. It's a big dragonfly. Anything else we need to touch on here?
It targets prey and chases it down.
Yeah. And we can reinforce the idea that it would be pretty spooky if there were 4-foot dragonflies buzzing around.
Gosh, yeah, fortunately it says, at least on one of these, that it seeks out insects, particularly as prey, but...
It's not going to hurt you, probably, unless it shatters windows on you.
Yeah, but it could. It probably could.
It probably could, yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I haven't really seen it open that mouth, but I bet it could chomp you.
Weird, buggy mouth parts. Diamond and Pearl version says, its eyes can see 360 degrees without moving its head. It won't miss prey, even those behind it.
Yeah, we get it.
They're really, very impressed by, did you know they can see behind them? It will not miss prey, even if the prey is hiding behind it. I have tried to hide bugs from it. It never works.
Oak's just dangling flies on a stick behind it. It's just stops and turns midair to chase them down.
I really love that Oak's approach to science seems to be like that of a third grader who is these have been my observations. It's a great flyer. Look at it fly. It's great.
Yes.
It will not miss prey even when it's behind it. And when I gave it a big log, it sliced all the way through the big log. It is super cool.
It sounds like Oak.
He's a pioneer.
Yeah. He's great.
All right, let's move on. Something about not 360 degrees, please. Platinum version says it can hover in one spot by flapping its wings at high speed. It flits about to guard its territory.
So they've got territory.
They've got territory, yeah. They're hunting around in their territory. So, maybe, hopefully, you can just, not build your home near Yanma territory. Hopefully its territory is just out in the woods and it won't shatter all your windows all the time.
Yeah. But, yeah, if you start building cabins out there and getting its territory, it'll break your windows.
Yeah, ain't no point to putting glass in your house.
No.
Again, just kind of a dragonfly entry. Can hover in one spot.
Pretty much.
It can flit about to guard its territory.
I imagine dragonflies have some sense of territory and will guard it.
Yeah,
probably.
I think that's a thing. I think they'll fight each other and stuff.
Sure, I would watch a dragonfly fight.
I'd watch it. I watch a Yanma fight.
Yeah.
I'm not really clear on so this is we'll get into that in a second. Let's fit. We just got a couple more entries here. Let's get through those and then we can talk bigger picture.
Yeah.
So Black and White says, by flapping its wings at high speed, it can fly freely through the air. Even sudden stops are no problem.
So
I love this.
It's got wings. It can fly.
Yeah. When it flaps its wings really fast, it can fly around in the air.
It's if Mario runs really fast and holds his arms out, he can fly through the air. Yeah, it's a great flyer.
Yep, flapping its wings. It can fly through there. Even sudden stops are no problem. Yeah, good job, Yanma.
It's only ever depicted flying.
Yeah.
Like it's a big old dragonfly. It can fly freely through the air.
Good job.
Self-evident.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Yanma is capable of seeing 360 degrees without having to move its eyes. It's a great flyer. It's adept at making sudden stops and turning in midair. This Pokemon uses its flying ability to quickly chase down targeted prey.
So
we pretty much could have just read that
nothing super
one,
new
huh?
here. Yeah, that pretty
much covered all of our bases.
Yeah, and I remove all the duplicate entries in here,
of which there were.
And this one wasn't exactly one, but it kind of just sums them all up. It can see everything. Great flyer, and it chases prey.
Chases prey. Yeah,
like it eats.
It eats. It flies good and can stop, and it can see all around it all the time.
Yeah. I think really like the only kind of wild entry in here is the first one.
Right.
It'll generate shockwaves to shatter windows.
Yeah. That because other than that, it is essentially pretty much just describing a dragonfly, you know.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that like the writers of the Pokédex are like, we really, really need you to understand that it can see 360 degrees. When the much more interesting and like salient point is like when it flies by, it creates shock waves that can shatter stuff. Like,
yeah, like I guess if you think about it, like take a dragonfly and think about how fast they flap their wings, and then just kind of
scale
it up
by however much.
Yeah, like however much you would need to flap to carry 83.8 pounds of weight. Like,
yeah, a lot.
I guess that conceivably could make shockwaves. I don't know. I'm no scientist, but
I mean, you are a scientist. You're just a Pokemon scientist.
Yeah, so
we deal much more in metaphor and like. Weird benchmarks, not so much in like standardized units of measure.
Unquantifiable adjectives like a great flyer.
Yeah, exactly. Universally, across the board, Yanmas are great flyers. That is scientific fact. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Like, I don't know how many bugs. I guess there's like a butterfree, or like a bee drill or a venomoth. Like, they can fly, but they're not like stopping midair.
Right, they're not necessarily like super acrobatic, high precision flyers.
But they're probably not that bad. Yeah, I don't know if they've had like flying bug races in Oak's lab or something, but apparently Yanma won.
Yeah, enough to get the title of Great Flyer. So what I was going to say earlier is, the fact that these entries are much more just like describing a dragonfly. It's like I feel like we're getting a look at sort of the two classes of Pokemon that we've talked about before, which is like the ones that are super powered, like beyond belief, and then the ones that are just like a little bit more normal. Like Yanma's pretty regular Pokemon, like I don't feel like, the same mortal terror knowing that Yanma's out there in the world that I would about Scyther,
I'm not gonna like make camp in Yanma territory, but I'm not gonna like
I mean, you could if you had to, and you probably would be fine, but it's probably be loud. Might break some of your stuff.
Oh, gosh, it's it's just one of those bugs flying around. It's big, but not much bigger than any of the other Pokemon flying around. So
this is the kind of thing where if Scyther's eating other Pokemon, this could definitely be one that it was eating. Like it's.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one to eat, but
sure, it's a good meal. Scyther's lightning fast. Although this thing can fly pretty good, so who knows if we could actually catch it.
And it can see it coming from any direction.
That's also true, but Scyther can move faster than the human eye can register. So.
Yeah, well, Yanma can see faster than the human eye.
Yeah, Yanma might have super eyes.
It's a great flyer. I don't know how great of a a seer it is in terms of speed. But
there are some. I mean, in our real world, like the animal that has like the best eyes, supposedly, or not the best eyes, because then you talk about like birds of prey. But there's like a shrimp that can see more like colors than we can by like a huge margin. So like weird invertebrates, they might have better than human eyes.
Yeah, like flies. Like the reason they can be so hard to swat is because they can like see
going
from any direction, basically.
And
they can.
There've been flies in my house, driving me insane.
Oh yeah, they flit about and flap their wings at high speed.
Yeah. I feel like they're generating shockwaves that are gonna drive me insane.
Mental
shockwaves, exactly. Yeah.
Well, at least they're not breaking your windows.
I should count myself lucky. God, can you imagine if a Yanma got into your house and you were just like trying to get it out? That'd be a nightmare, man.
Catch it in a bag or something.
Or I guess a Pokeball, but
I mean, that's why those bug catchers have such big nets.
They do have real big nets.
Yeah, I mean, bigger than them most of the time.
Yeah, the Pokemon are bigger than them because the bug catcher kids are a lot of the time just like youngins.
Yeah, at least I mean they're real small. At least.
I guess we should mention that for those of our listeners uninitiated in the Pokemon universe, there are certain types of people that you encounter in the games that are classified by like sort of the kind of Pokemon that they use. So it'll be like Bug Catcher Lloyd or whatever,
Yeah.
Or like Mountain Climber or so and so, and the Bug Catchers are just kids with big nets. And Bug Pokemon.
Yep. They all look the same.
Yeah. True.
So yeah, and Yanma was just Yanma for like a couple generations. In Generation 4, they added its evolution, which we'll talk about next episode, but they spiced it up a bit. I would imagine they went back and looked at it and said, well, this is just a dragonfly. What if we add a little more to it?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's like, I love Yanma. Yanma's just doing its thing, which is great.
I'll be honest, like, I love sort of the bizarre Pokédex entries where it's just, like, completely off-the-chain weirdness. But, like, I also will have a special place in my heart always for the Pokemon that are just... Like, I always loved Shelder, because it's just a clam. Like, he's just a clam with, like, a big doofy tongue sticking out. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of...
Or, like Swinub, just like a little fuzzy pig dude.
A little pig. I have an appreciation for simplicity, so like Yanma has its place.
Yeah, it's
if I for some reason wanted to have a bug Pokemon on my team, I don't know why I would, but I would consider it. Would consider Yanma.
Yeah, I like a lot of bug Pokemon, but their type matchups aren't great. It's kind of if all the Pokemon were super powered ninja warriors like Scyther, then there wouldn't be like a baseline for the more wild and out there ones.
Right, exactly. So. And I mean they do flirt with that line. It seems like they're there in equal measure, like crazily powerful ones and just sort of normal ones. So thanks for being the workhorse, Yanma. Thanks for maintaining my credulity. So should we bust out our scales here? We've got the human scale. Like 1.
0?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
No human characteristics visible. Appears to be just a big dragonfly. Very little in common with humanity.
Assuming, a 0 to 1 on the scale is still, it can understand human commands and some mode of common
just
language.
Going to have to be the baseline for all Pokemon.
Yeah. Deadliness, I mean, it can.
Can potentially, in a very specific situation, be deadly.
It could shatter your windows.
I mean, none of these
I don't know
entries
if it could really,
say anything
kill
about
you
it,
too
like
easily.
biting or stinging or anything like that.
It's got these 2 spikes on its tail. It doesn't say anything about those.
Yeah.
Do they?
Well, and it's hunting prey somehow.
Yeah.
I guess it could just be fast enough to chomp them down, but
Yeah.
it doesn't
If it flies
seem
at
to
me fast
be.
enough with that tail, like
It'll stab
it could
you.
stab me. Like, yeah, that could. But that's. It seems like it would take some work for it to, take down a human being.
Right, and I also would hope that I don't know who knows how they decide what to put in each entry. But if they had like a specific stabby fighting style, they probably would have told us about it.
Yeah,
They like
right.
to talk about that kind of stuff, but all they could talk about was the 360 degree eyes this time around.
just really super impressed by those eyes.
So danger scale, I feel like I give this one like a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, like particularly like in a swarm, if they're making shockwaves and stuff, like that can get dangerous. It's big and fast, so yeah. But maybe like a 3 or a 4, probably.
Yeah.
Which I've peeked a little bit at its next evolution, and I think it'll jump up pretty dramatically there. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up for Yanma.
I guess we can do we were doing the design grading on the first couple.
Yeah, which
Ken was like a B.
Sure, like
C+.
I don't really want to. I don't want to speak ill of any Pokemon.
We'll just award A+s to the ones that we are especially fond of.
Yeah, because no matter what grade I give a Pokemon, I will bump it up to an A+ if I see it running around like in the anime, like doing its thing, because it's always amazing and precious when that happens. But I guess if we had to, it's I don't want to say like lazy, but it's kind of just a dragonfly.
Yeah, right. They're not making any particularly bold design decisions. I remembered something I was going to bring up earlier when I was talking about the difference between regular animals and Pokemon. Like if there are insects in this world, how do we know which ones are Pokemon and which one aren't? And I guess something I think we kind of briefly brought up before was like basically they're animals until they're Pokemon. Like that's why there are new Pokemon all the time, constantly, because they're just like discovering new ones and being like, oh, I thought that was just like a dragonfly, but I guess actually it's Yanma. It turns out it will fight for me. It will go in the Pokeball.
It turns out it will get in this ball.
Yeah, I just hadn't previously tried to catch one.
Yeah, it's not a super interesting design, but I kind of like having the more, like we said, like the baseline Pokemon kind of.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be some somewhat normal ones running around.
Right. Sometimes it feels like the designers had to be like, yeah, we did a dragonfly one. Like, well, we thought of that.
Yeah.
We did one.
Yeah, particularly for the bugs, which I think was like a big inspiration for the original games and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Yanma, and I guess that's gonna do it for us for this week. I know our last episode went a little long, but
we had that Mega Evolution to talk about.
Yeah, you had all those extra entries from the Mega Evolution. The later gen Pokemon will have less entries, so the episodes might be a little shorter if we get to like a Gen 4 or 5 Pokemon.
Yeah.
They just won't have as much to talk about, but we'll give each Pokemon its due, I would hope. But yeah, so that's Yanma. Next week we will be talking about Yanma's evolution, Yanmega, which is not a mega evolution.
It's just called Mega.
If that were the case, it would be Mega Yanma. I think.
Does Yanmega?
Or maybe if they give Yanmega an evolution, it'll be Mega.
I would love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pokemon, get on that.
Something else I would like to shoot for, just as we briefly mentioned earlier, I was saying, for those of our listeners uninitiated in the world of Pokemon, we're gonna try to maybe throw together like a bonus ep at some point here, just to like go over some of the basics, so that when we go off on tangents talking about like Professor Oak or whatever, people are like, what are these fools talking about? Yeah, me and Braden have been inundated in the world of Pokemon since we were like, in grade school. So let's try to be a little bit try to be a little bit more welcoming, make you guys a little bonus app, and talk about some of the basics.
Yeah, get like a little primer on a Grimer primer on what Pokemon are and why they're so special to us.
So if any of our listeners have specific questions that they would like addressed, feel free to hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or any of those places. Go Beyond the Ball.
Yeah. Twitter at Go Beyond the Ball, gobeyondtheball@gmail.com, Beyond the Ball most everywhere else.
Has anyone emailed us?
No emails yet, but we've been getting some tweets, which is fun. And if you like the show, review it or rate it on whatever you're listening to. I think it'd be really cool if some randos listened to our show and liked it.
Amazing. I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought I would say this, but review, rate, and subscribe, guys.
Yeah. I subscribed on iTunes.
Yeah,
and I feel better about it.
I feel fantastic.
But thanks for listening. Spread the word. Stay tuned for next week's episode.
Yeah.
And watch out for Yanma in your area.
Yeah, reinforce your windows, everybody.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye,